Okay, now that we've completed exercise 6-7, we're going to move on to exercise 6-8. 6-8 deals with a function called count and count blank. All right, so let's talk about what those two are. The count blank function, all one word, no spaces. This counts empty cells in a range. The count function tallies the total number of values in a range, and the count blank totals the total number of empty values. All right, so it will also ignore text, so it's only using values. It will ignore blank or empty cells, but not zeros. It will ignore errors, such as the pound sign or hashtag name, and logical values. Those are formulas. So let's get started with exercise 6-8 by moving to cells D9 and D13, and let's put those zeros back in that we had removed from the previous exercise. And you'll notice that our green air triangles disappear because the error was referring to empty cells. Well, those cells are no longer empty. They have zeros in them, so our green air triangles disappear. Now let's go to cell E25. Shops with no downtime. Well, this is what we're really trying to make happen. We're trying to have a company or a business that runs without any downtime at all. So we're going to count those cells. All right, well, let's go start with the f of x button, again, next to the formula bar. This is our insert function dialog box. And from the category, we will again choose statistical. Now, we're looking for the count function. So C, I just typed the letter C and it jumps me down. And then I started just scrolling through. There's count. And I want you to read right here, count the number of cells in a range that contain numbers. So again, it has to have a value. Remember, values are numbers. So it's going to count those cells. Now, go ahead and choose OK. And the first thing it asks for in the dialog box is the range. And again, we've been working with the same range of D7 to D14. Notice how the dialog box shrinks to give you more working space. All right. Now, all you have to do is simply click OK. And there's our answer. All right. The answer is indeed 8. So the cells with 0, because 0 is a number or a value, it is included in the count. Now let's go ahead and delete D9 and D13 again. And notice how this is updating in cell E25. And now what was once 8 is now 6. So we are going to now edit the label to read shops with downtime, not shops with no downtime. So let's just get rid of this right here. So it says shops with downtime. And this is going to make a lot more sense label-wise. Now, right-click the row heading for row 25. Notice how I selected row 25. I right-click, and I'm going to choose Insert, and this inserts a row above. All right. Now, go back to cell. Now we're going to do shops with no downtime. I'm going to capitalize no so you can see it better. And I'm going to move over to cell E25 to write a formula that has shops with no downtime. So if you look right here in the previous exercise, that formula was count. It counted the cells with values. This is going to be count blank, or counting the cells that are blank inside of that range. Hopefully this makes good sense to you now. So go ahead and select the f of x button. Again, statistical, and look for count blank. Read the script here. Counts the number of empty cells in a range. Click OK. We know the range is D7 to D14. And click OK. And look, there we go. We have 2 shops that have no downtime. Now, the next part of this exercise is to go to cell E27, choose Insert, and type in number of shops. So, how many shops do we have? Well, we've got Aberdeen, Bremerton, Eugene, Hutchinson, Medford, Modesto, Olympia, and San Francisco. The answer to that is 8. So let's go ahead and write a formula for that. Equals count, open up the left parenthesis, and select the range, A7 through A14, the shops, right? Go ahead and close the parenthesis and hit enter, and now we're confused. The answer is 0. Well, there's a reason for that, and the answer is 0 because if you remember from the beginning of this lesson, the count and the count blank only count values. Remember, values are numbers. This text is a label. So the count and count blank function will not add that. We're going to fix that on exercise 6-9. I know you're excited. We'll be right back with exercise 6-9. Save this as 6-8.